Deion Branch, Julian Edelman. Edelman was a quarterback. He can't do it. They drafted N'Keal Harry, first round. I saw him in college. I liked him. Big physical guy. Not a burner, but a big, tough kid, hard worker. Herm Edwards told me off air he liked him a lot. And here's what Greg Cosell said. He didn't have any catches against Denver on Sunday. In 8 of his 13 games, he's had 2 or fewer catches. He can't separate from anybody. He looks like a bust. Here's Greg Cosell.
N'Keal Harry, he's. I know you're a Pac-12 guy. He does not move really well, Colin. I mean, I'm trying to figure out what exactly he can become in this league because there's not a lot of juice to his movement.
These are receivers drafted after N'Keal Harry from Arizona State in the draft. They're not just good. They're stars for their team. Deebo Samuel. I mean, Deebo Samuel is just a monster. A.J. Brown, Tennessee. McCole Hardman for Kansas City. DK Metcalf is a star in the league. Terry McLaurin for Washington, a third-round pick, has been unbelievable. Dwayne Haskins has a better eye for wide receivers. Dwayne Haskins told Washington, draft Terry McLaurin. I played with him. He's really good. He is. Top 10 receiver in yards. There's a lot of theories on stuff. And I have 2 beliefs on why Belichick is so bad at this. The first one is a hunch. The hunch is Bill doesn't watch a lot of college football. He leans on guys like Nick Saban, Urban Meyer, Herm Edwards, who he knows, to give him a recommendation. He calls Herm Edwards. Herm is hardest worker on our team, really good kid, will work his butt off. That's good enough. Bill's not a guy. Bill is great with NFL personnel. He'll steal NFL guys. Wes Welker from Miami. He'll do that all day. He doesn't watch college football on Saturdays. He's a Sunday guy. And so that's my first thing. And the other thing is, it's not just wide receivers. Find me all the steals the last 10 years in the draft for New England. The only unit they really find talent is offensive line. They're great at that. But I don't even credit Belichick. That's Dante Scarnecchia, the offensive line coach, who's the best offensive line coach without peer in the game's history. Bill Callahan maybe too. He just takes everything and everything. He's like the Russell Wilson of offensive line coaches. Everything works with Dante Scarnecchia, who's now retired. So my first thing is Bill doesn't love college football. He loves the NFL, and he's brilliant at finding NFL personnel. In fact, the 2 best players New England has right now are Cam Newton and Stephon Gilmore. They're both free agents. He played Cam twice, couldn't stop him. He's great at going to Buffalo and getting Gilmore and going. He's always been good at that. So my first one is a hunch. He just doesn't love college football. He relies on guys and friends to give him a heads up. The second thing is, and this is not a hunch, this is what I've been told by 2 different personnel people in the NFL that have worked with New England and left, is that Bill in January cuts everybody off. I'll take the draft from here. That's not what Pete Carroll does. And Pete Carroll has 15 guys he's stolen in the draft. That's not what Jimmy Johnson did. That's not what Andy Reid does. That's not what Sean Payton does. They are to the very last day, everybody's in. Bill, January, I got it from here. And I think it hurts. I think he is an amazing coach. He's brilliant. He's the best coach of my life. I never met him, but I think he's amazing. But they are so bad at drafting one position. There's got to be a reason. I don't believe in fate. I'm not overly religious, so I don't believe in fate. I think you create your reality. Your choices create your reality. He chooses wide receivers poorly. So we know he's not dumb. We know he knows talent. But I mean, it's N'Keal Harry looks like a bust. He can't get open. No catches? I mean, I understand the Patriots' practice issues, but no catches? Joel Klatt is coming up. Now, we have a good interest.
Well, another team that may be rebuilding soon, is rebuilding soon, is the Falcons, 2-4, last place in the NFC South. And even though trades involving star players are usually not common during the regular NFL season, some people are wondering if the Falcons could blow up their roster.
This is this thing. We said this 2 weeks ago. It sounds crazy. But Matt Ryan, to me, I feel like I'm getting an older Matt Ryan, and I'm looking around, Joy, at all these dynamic quarterbacks. I think you can get something for Matt.
Well, according to ESPN's Dan Graziano and Jeremy Fowler, there are people who think that they could be shopped before the trade deadline in 2 weeks. So Matt Ryan's 35. He has 3 more years remaining on his contract after this season that pay him $30 million annually. Jones is also signed through 2023 at an average salary of $22 million, so 2 really high salaries. Trading Ryan would result in an immediate cap acceleration of $44.4 million, and the Falcons currently have less than $2 million in cap space. So obviously, this is a massive move off of their cap situation.
You know what? But I respect it. In the Super Bowl a couple years ago, they're just blowing it up. They're like, coach out, GM out, quarterback out. And by the way, instead of arguing for 3 years that you're not in a rebuild, Atlanta's like, okay, we got to the Super Bowl with Matt Ryan. We should have won a Super Bowl. We didn't. But we look around the league right now. Let's start over. I totally respect that by Atlanta. Acknowledging we just don't feel that we're special at that position.
And look, Julio Jones is still a big-time talent in the league, and Matt Ryan still has some football to play. So this isn't a bad situation for either of them either. Things come to an end, and it really feels like, to your point, Atlanta just keeps trying to push through what happened with the Super Bowl, and every year it's just progressively gotten worse. So just call it.
That's right.
Just stop dragging out a situation that everyone can see is not working, and that doesn't mean that Matt Ryan can't go somewhere else and have success, or that Julio won't either. But that cap situation is a nightmare if you're not moving forward, and you're 2-4 and you're in last place in the division. So you have to do something drastic at that point. So Trevor Lawrence will undoubtedly be the number 1 pick in the NFL draft this year, and former NFL wide receiver Roddy White has some advice for the Clemson quarterback.
If I'm Trevor Lawrence, if the Jets finish with no wins, I just go back to Clemson. I'm just going to go back for another year. I don't want any part of that organization, because it would be awful for you to get drafted by the Jets, because they do not know how to put anything together over there as far as quarterbacking, as far as weapons around the quarterback, as far as anything that has to do with offensive talent. As far as offense, man, that team is just bad at picking players.
I don't disagree with him as far as the Jets go, but here's the problem. Whoever has the number 1 pick in the draft is going to be a bad team. That's why they have the number 1 pick in the draft.
Yeah, but yes, you're right. That is right. But I think the Giants are bad, but I trust their ownership because I've seen it win championships. The Jets are bad, and I don't trust their ownership. There's a difference between bads. Like Miami with Brian Flores right now, I'm like, this is moving in the right direction.
Yeah. But there's a massive risk with this as well. You could go back to Clemson and get injured.
Oh, no. I wouldn't go back to Clemson. What I would do is do what Elway and Eli did.
Oh, I think that's a terrible idea for multiple reasons. One, you're not dissing San Diego. You're not dissing Jacksonville. You're dissing New York City. That's a place I don't want to have a pass to go to, okay? That's a big, I'm not going to the New York Jets. That's a pretty big deal. Also, this is not Eli Manning and Peyton Manning's NFL. There's social media now. If you go somewhere else and you're not a multiple-time Super Bowl winner, you're going to hear that for the rest of your career. So you better be successful wherever it is you go. And you could risk going to another organization that's terrible. Like Joe Burrow not doing this, and I know a lot of people don't consider Joe Burrow to be Trevor Lawrence's level, but Joe Burrow going to Cincinnati Bengals was the right choice. And there was some talk about him forcing his way out of Cincinnati too. You go to the New York Jets. The New York Jets are going to make a move at the head coaching position. We know that. So they're going to go in a different direction. Hopefully they bring someone in who can establish a culture. It's not like the Jets have never been a winning organization. They've just been habitually dysfunctional, as most teams that have the number 1 pick are. I think it is a horrible idea to try and look, we live in a different world now. That reeks of privilege. It's just not a good idea. I don't think it's a good look. I go to the New York Jets and make it happen in New York City. There's a lot worse places you could live than New York City. Finally, the Dolphins named Tua their starting quarterback, and Coach Brian Flores spoke about the decision to start his rookie quarterback going forward.
I feel like, through practice and meetings and walkthroughs, that he's ready. This was the best move for our team right now. Look, Fitz has done a great job. He's been productive. His leadership's been great. It's not an easy decision, for me or us as an organization. But we felt like, for the team now moving forward, this is the move we needed to make.
Brian's been successful to this point. There's no reason for me not to trust him. He's watched all the practice video. I trust him.
So similar to what you were talking about with the Cowboys and what we were just talking about with the Falcons, the Dolphins are in a rebuild. They're trending in the right direction. We talked about it all at the end of the last season, that they were playing hard. Yes, they were losing, but if there's a way to lose the right way, it's what they were doing. Fitzpatrick knew what the situation was before the season started. He knew why he was there. He's been amazing with Tua and amazing in the situation. But can we stop acting like the Dolphins have the best record in the league and they're going to get a bye?
They beat the Jets, the Jags, and a beat-up Niners team.
They're 3-3. I'm confused. What am I watching here? Yes, Fitz has been good. He has not been great. Go look at his numbers, all right? He throws a lot of interceptions, and this is going to hit a wall. Because, why do I know that? Fitzpatrick has been on 9 teams. We know what Ryan Fitzpatrick is.
Yeah, we've seen the Fitzmagic thing evaporate quickly.
I'm not making this up.
Right.
This is not changing. And Ryan Fitzpatrick knows that. That's why he bought into this situation and is not saying, no, I need this to be my team. This is not a Super Bowl year for the Miami Dolphins.
No.
Why are you trying so hard to get a wild card bid so that you can go into the first week of the playoffs and get mopped? That's not the plan.
Right.
Thank God Brian Flores knows that. You have to find out what you have in Tua.
Yes.
Get him out there. He has to play football. That's how you get better at football. And I understand Aaron Donald is not the one that you want to go against your first week, but
you got to go against somebody.
You got to go against the NFL defensive lineman eventually.
Yeah. Joy with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie News.
My friend Nick Wright, first things first, joining me now.